All right, today we're going to do something a little different. We are going to basically perform an autopsy on a 3D printer. Yeah, you heard me right. We're going to break this amazing machine down piece by piece so we can really understand how it works. Let's dive in.
So, have you ever just looked at your 3D printer and wondered what is actually going on inside that thing? Especially if you're kind of new to all this, it can be super overwhelming, right? You've got all these moving parts, the wires that specific hum it makes. It can really feel like this magic black box where a spool of plastic goes in one side and somehow a masterpiece comes out the other.
But here's the thing, it's not magic. It's way more than just a jumble of wires and motors. What if I told you there's a really simple way to understand how all these pieces fit together? It's not just random hardware. There's a real logic to it, a whole system at play. And here's the secret. You just have to think of it like a body. That's the key. We're going to treat this machine like a living thing, and we're going to explore its anatomy, from the skeleton all the way up to the brain. And trust me, once you start seeing it this way, it all just clicks. It makes perfect sense. So, where do we start with any body? Well, with the skeleton, of course, the frame and the structure. And a 3D printer is absolutely no different. This is the foundation that everything else is built on.
So, the frame, that's the printer's bones. Usually it's made of these chunky aluminum extrusions, and its one and only job is to be incredibly rigid, like completely unmoving. And why is that so important? Well, because any little wobble or vibration in the frame is going to show up as a flaw in your final print. This rock-solid structure is the absolute key to getting those super precise movements.
And this skeleton is what allows for all the movement, right? In 3 dimensions. You've got the x-axis for left to right movement, the z-axis for up and down. But the y-axis, that's where things can get a little interesting. On a ton of popular printers, you've probably seen this. The printhead itself doesn't move forward and back. Instead, the entire print bed does. It kind of slings back and forth. It's a super common design.
Okay, so we've got a skeleton. What's next? The heart. And in a 3D printer, the heart is definitely the extrusion system. This is the part that pumps the lifeblood of the whole operation, the plastic filament.
Now this is where the real magic happens, the hot end. I mean, this thing is a little marvel of engineering. It's designed to do just one job, but with incredible precision. Take a solid strand of plastic, melt it just enough, at just the right time, so it can be laid down layer by tiny layer.
So, let's follow the filament's journey, shall we? First, this little motor and gear setup called the extruder, it grabs the filament and starts pushing it forward. From there, it goes into the heater block. This is basically a little metal block with a heating cartridge in it, getting it up to a super precise temperature. We're talking like 200 degrees Celsius for standard PLA plastic. And then finally, all that molten plastic gets squeezed out through a tiny little hole in the nozzle. And that's how you get your print.
And when I say tiny, I am not kidding. The standard nozzle size on most printers is just 0.4 millimeters. That's less than half a millimeter wide. It's incredible. That tiny, tiny opening is the whole reason these printers can create such fine, intricate details.
Okay, so there are basically 2 main ways a printer pumps that filament. You've got direct drive, where the extruder motor sits right on top of the print head. This gives you amazing control, and it's fantastic for tricky, flexible materials. Then you have the Bowden setup. Here, the motor is mounted on the printer's frame, and it pushes the filament through a long tube. This makes the printhead a lot lighter, which means it can move faster. You'll see both of these setups all over the place, and they both have their pros and cons.
All right, so we've got a skeleton for structure and a heart to pump the material. But something has to tell it all what to do, right? You need intelligence? For that, we need a brain and some muscles.
The brain, of course, is the motherboard. This is the central nervous system of the whole machine. It reads a special instruction file, it's called G-code, and then sends out all the signals to the muscles, which are these things called stepper motors. And these aren't just any motors, they move in tiny, incredibly precise steps. That rotational movement is then transferred through a system of timing belts, which turn it into that smooth, straight-line motion you see on the X and Y axes. And hey, speaking of those belts, you've probably seen these little knobs or screws, usually on the ends of the X and Y axes. Those are the belt tensioners. And listen, they might look like a really minor part, but I promise you, they are absolutely vital. Why? Because a loose belt is like a sloppy muscle. It's just not precise. When the printer has to make a sharp corner or a quick change in direction, a loose belt has just a little bit of slack. And that slack causes this ugly ringing or echoing effect on the surface of your print. It's called ghosting. So you want to keep those belts nice and snug, kind of like a guitar string. That's what ensures every single movement is crisp and accurate.
Okay, next up, every building, every structure. It needs a solid foundation to be built on. And in the world of 3D printing, that foundation is the print bed. You're going to hear this phrase over and over and over again in the 3D printing world. The first layer is everything. And honestly, it's for a really good reason. Getting a perfect first layer that sticks firmly to that bed, it is the single most important part of a successful print. If that first layer fails, the entire print is doomed.
Luckily, modern print beds have some awesome features to help you succeed. First, they're usually heated. This keeps the plastic warm and prevents it from shrinking and pulling up at the corners. That's a defect called warping. Second, a lot of them have these flexible magnetic PEI sheets. When the print is done, you just lift the sheet off and give it a little bend, and your model pops right off. It's amazing. And finally, the big one, auto bed leveling. This uses a little sensor to map the surface of the bed, which makes sure the nozzle is always the perfect distance away for that all-important first layer.
All right, last but not least, our creation is printing away. But just like a body, when it works hard, it generates heat. A printer does the same thing. And to manage all that heat, it needs lungs, a respiratory system, or in this case, a cooling system. Now, you might just see a fan and think, okay, a fan. But on the print head, there are actually two critical fans, and they have completely opposite jobs. First is the heatsink fan. This one is on all the time, and its job is to cool the top part of the hot end, the cold end, to stop the filament from melting too early and causing a jam. Then you have the part cooling fan. This one points right at the tip of the nozzle, and its job is to blast the plastic with air the second it comes out to cool it down instantly.
And that part cooling is so critical. That blast of air solidifies the molten plastic right away. That's what allows the printer to do incredible things like create sharp corners, bridge across gaps in midair, or print steep overhangs without everything just turning into a saggy, melty blob. It is absolutely the secret to getting those really clean, high-quality results.
So there you have it, the skeleton, the heart, the brain, and muscles, and even the lungs. Once you understand the anatomy of your 3D printer, it stops being this intimidating, complex machine, and it becomes a system. You see how all the parts work together to bring something to life. So the only real question left is, now that you know how it works, what are you going to create?